Yo, what is up everyone, Jay here with another Fire Emblem Heroes reaction video to the latest FEH channel that unexpectedly dropped and the trailer for the new Three Hopes banner. So we finally have Three Hopes into the game, and I'm watching the trailer from their Twitter. The FEH channel dropped first. You can watch that of course, but just going over the trailer because they have all the skills for the Three Hopes characters. So I'm going to go with this, but I'm going to go back to the FEH channel and talk about the rest of the other updates that they revealed, because there's some pretty juicy stuff in there. But we also have some pretty juicy skills on this banner, on the Three Hopes banner. So this is the first time Warriors characters have ever been in FEH, and rest in peace to the fans of the original FE Warriors. I mean, I like that game to an extent, but it was a mess. You know, Linda being in the game honestly saved it for me. And that game, for a lot of reasons, I think is why they never released Rowan and Leanna. So rest in peace to those fans. I don't think they're ever getting into FEH. Maybe one day, I don't know. But here we finally have Shez into the game before them, and the original FE Warriors came out like in 2017. So I mean, it's not too surprising because it's Three Hopes, it's three houses still, so of course it's so popular that I'm not too surprised. But it's still, you know, it's still kind of crazy to see Warriors characters into the game now. So Shez is in the game, and this one is a, should I say this one? The male Shez is a sword infantry unit, and the female one's an axe infantry unit, and she's actually the insta emote. So she's not actually featured on the banner, so she'll be added into the pool later. But so male Shez here, he's pretty good. So he comes with Crimson Blades. I've never played Three Hopes actually. I didn't even play the demo, so I have no idea how Shez is or how they work as a unit or how they play at all. So I don't have any knowledge about how, if he actually dual wields in that game. I assume he does. But so he comes with Crimson Blades. It gives him speed +5, which is a huge speed buff, and also inflicts defense and res -5, so that's the penalty for it. And then he also attacks twice, so he has the brave effect, I assume, in both phases. And at start of combat, if the following effects will trigger based on the unit's HP. So if he's alive, so that's even better than the normal 25% HP. He grants special cooldown charge +1 to himself, which is really good on a brave weapon. So he'd be able to charge Gale Force really easy, or like powerful specials like Glimmer or Luna. And also, if he's above or greater than to 40% HP, which is also really easy, he also reduces damage from the foe's first attack by 40%. So he basically gets that free flat damage reduction that doesn't even require a speed check on the first hit for free, basically. So that's really good. So he doesn't really have to run Spurn on his B slot, which brings us to his next new B skill, Speed Defense Bulwark. So the Bulwark skills are actually really good, and they're actually better than I thought they would be initially. If you fought Asker, he's really annoying with that skill, and it's really good on any kind of really bulky frontliner, you know, infantry tank. Like the new Flame Tribal Inn could definitely use this skill, Speed Defense Bulwark 3. So this is a really good you know, just frontlining skill. So that's pretty cool to see. And now we have finally attack speed Oath 4 in the regular pool. I mean, I say finally, Summer Erica wasn't that long ago, but it's nice to see it being in the regular pool pretty soon, not like taking a year or longer. So that is male Shez. He's a sword infantry unit. Again, it's a very competitive class type, but I think he can definitely stand out with that dual phase brave weapon, because there isn't that many sword infantry units with dual phase braves. The only one I can think of is like Laszlo right now. So he's up there. I think he's definitely pretty solid. And the next unit we have is Monica, the other Edelgard simp, like I like to say. I mean, a lot of lords have simps, quote unquote, or dedicated characters to them, but Monica, you know, with Hubert for Edelgard. So she is making her debut as a blue infantry mage. And she comes with Wind Genesis. This gives her -1 special cooldown. And at the start of turn, oh, sorry. At the start of turn, if she's alive, she grants Desperation for 1 turn and attack speed +6, visible buff. And at the start of combat, she grants attack speed +6 during combat, which is pretty nice. So a lot of offenses. And inflicts penalty on foes' speed and resistance during combat equal to 11 minus the foe's max special cooldown count. So let's say they have a Moonbow special, which is maximum 2. So 2, yeah, so 2, minimum penalty of 3. So 2 times 2 is 4. And then that would be 11 minus 4 is 7. So if I'm doing the math correctly, that's a -7 speed and resistance debuff. So that's pretty good, honestly. So, you know, I guess that's just going to help her off. I mean, this is a very simple weapon. It's nothing super duper crazy, but it's going to be pretty nice because, I mean, Desperation built into your weapon opens up your B slot. You don't have to worry about running that or have to worry about the opportunity cost. So she can run other stuff like low skills. So that's pretty good for Monica. She comes with attack speed ideal and speed resistance tempo 3. So I'm glad that they're actually adding the speed resistance tempo 3 version so soon, because we just got attack res tempo on Legendary Deirdre, and now they're just popping the speed res version, which is nice. And this is going to be a prime time skill for Brave Lysithea, who just got a really good weapon refine. So Lysithea enthusiasts are definitely going to be pulling for Monica for that tempo skill. So that's a really good tempo skill, not only for Lysithea, but also units like Ascended Ishtar. So So the next unit on the banner is the Ascended hero, and it's my girl Hilda. So she's getting an Ascended version for her Three Hopes version here. So I love Hilda. If you guys know me, I love pink-haired Fire Emblem girls. May is also one of my favorite Fire Emblem characters. Hilda is definitely one of my favorites, but she's not like on the same levels like Marth and Lind, obviously. But she's still one of my favorite characters from Three Houses, and she's one of the reasons I picked Golden Deer actually for my first run in Three Houses back in the day. So I'm happy that she's getting an Ascended version, and this is a really pretty ult, by the way. I love the artist. Eswal did a really amazing job on Hilda here, so she looks really amazing. But I can understand why people don't like her. I mean, I can see why people don't like her in general for her personality, but I love Hilda. I'm a sucker for her, but she's just so funny. So I'm glad she's getting a Ascended version, but at the same time, I can also see why people don't like this, and I can see maybe someone else getting it instead of her, but her brother's on this banner as well. He's not on the banner, but he's the GHB unit, so it makes sense for her to be included with her. So I guess for the Three Houses Ascended, we're going to have the either their time skip version, I guess, or either their Three Hopes iteration. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So Hilda getting the Ascended version here, and she comes with Fuming for Kugel. So this weapon is basically a hybrid support weapon and offensive weapon, kind of like what she recently got with her regular for Kugel Refine. So yeah, so this gives her -1 special cooldown at the start of combat for allies within 2 spaces of her, if that ally has more defense or more defense than her, or if she hasn't entered combat during the current phase, which represents her laziness. She grants +3 stats to everybody, or +3 to all their stats, and then reduces damage from the foe's first attack by 20%, so that's pretty nice. And at the start of combat, again, the same condition basically, or if she's not adjacent to an ally, she grants attack speed +6 to unit during combat, and reduces damage again from the foe's first attack by 40% this time, and deals damage X% of unit speed when the special triggers, and X equaling to the unit's max special cooldown count times 10 plus 20. So another math equation here. So basically how this works, so with her Luna special, as you can see she has, so that's the maximum special cooldown is 3, right? So 3 times 10 is 30 plus 20, so that's 50, and then 50% of unit speed. So that's actually a lot. If I'm doing the math correct there, that's a lot of boosted speed damage reduction, or should I say speed, I can't even talk, speed boost damage. So yeah, so being able to deal true damage to 50% of her speed, and she's going to be very fast. I'm sure she's going to have at least base 40 speed, I'm sure. That's going to be a lot of damage. So not only is this a good support weapon, it's also going to bolster her combat a lot. So pretty solid weapon overall. You know, it's not as good as the regular for Kugel Refine when it comes to support, because the regular for Kugel Refine also prevented follow-ups for the foe, so it doesn't have that here, but it still gives you that massive damage reduction if you can stack it up. So that's pretty good. So Fuming for Kugel, definitely solid weapon, and she's gonna hit hard when her special triggers. So Luna, like I said, she comes with attack speed solo 4, which is great with her weapon, and then she comes with a new speed-based damage reduction B skill that's coming in town, Velocity 3. So this works just like the other ones, except this time it gives her Null Guard. Not the full Null Guard effect that we usually see on the tempo skills and whatnot. So if someone's running Warding Breath or like Heavy Blade, she can't stop that, but she'll be able to stop guard effects. So that's pretty good, and that's better than the other ones, I'd say, but definitely better than Repel. Close Call, you know, it still has its merit because you'll be able to reposition yourself and retreat. That's also useful, but having the you know, Null Guard effect is really good. I think it's overall the best one. Spurn gives you the extra damage, but you have to be within a specific HP threshold. So I think Velocity 3 is overall the best one because Null Guard is just so good. It stops so many tanks from just walling you, and you can still trigger your special. And Hilda obviously wants to trigger her special because she's going to be able to deal a lot of damage with it. So having this Velocity skill is perfect for her. And, you know, if you're facing tanks like Brave Vandal Guard, for example, you know, Hilda, we would still be able to break through that guard effect. So that's really good. Velocity 3 definitely be a coveted B skill for a lot of infantry tanks and God swords and God infantries and God axes. So Velocity 3 is definitely, I'm kind of tempted to pull for it, but I don't really need it. And plus it's Hilda, I don't want to sack Hilda. I do love her, but yeah, so that's Velocity 3, and she comes with Joint Drive Speed. So that is Ascended Hilda, very solid unit overall in terms of gonna hit deceptively hard, I think, when she triggers her special, because not a lot of people are going to expect her to hit that hard, I feel like. And also having that support is pretty amazing for the damage reduction. So that's Ascended Hilda. And then the next unit on the banner is LIF. So LIF in the data mine, and of course in the Tempest Trials, when we saw him first, we thought he'd be an Ascended LIF. I think most people assume that, but he's actually a new type of hero called a Rearmed hero. So how this works, why they're called rearmed, is basically you can inherit his weapon to any unit, pretty much any unit. There's some restrictions to it, and we'll get into it. But LIF here, he's a sword cavalier this time, so he's not a sword infantry, which is pretty nice. So he comes with Arcane. I'm not even trying to pronounce the sword, but this gives him -1 special cooldown, and the start of combat, if he's alive, he inflicts attack defense -6 on the foe, and the foe can't make a follow-up attack, and he makes a guaranteed one. So basically kind of a mini no follow-up, kind of bootleg no follow-up, and then also inflicts the guard effect. He comes with Open the Future, attack defense clash 4, which is really good for a cavalier like him. And this is actually a buff to Legendary Sigurd, I'd say, because this is actually pretty good on him, as you can see on Brave Seliph running around with the attack speed class version. If you're not stacking people who invest in Legendary Sigurd who aren't running the speed variants, and you just want to do attack and defense, this is a pretty good option for Legendary Sigurd. So Legendary Sigurd got even better with this skill, I'd say. So that's pretty good. And he comes with Deadly Balance and Attack Defense Menace. So in the Fate channel, they basically explain how you can inherit this to any sword unit, but there is restrictions to it. And you know, overall his kit has good fodder, and they did inherit it to Alphonse in the video, and I'll go to it once we finish this. But yeah, they talk about, yeah, we're gonna, and that's the icon for the rearmed hero. So once you inherit the skill from him, that sword's gonna be crossed out. Yeah, it's right here. So they basically show it. So they're inheriting it to Alphonse, which is amazing, so he can get a better weapon, and the LIF doesn't die. So let's go to the Fate channel, and I'm gonna just go to it right now. So yeah, they basically the same example here, but they go more in depth with it. So there is the cross out. So once you inherit the LIF, or should I say, yeah, once you fodder the LIF, he's not really gone. He's still there. So that's pretty awesome. So we're breaking some new ground here. Not only are you inheriting PRF, quote unquote, weapons to units, but they don't die when you fodder them. So that's pretty crazy. You know, this is such a big deal for units that have not so great PRFs, that haven't aged that well, or they don't have any PRFs at all. So, I mean, they know it already. They gave the example of Legendary Ike, you know, Ragnell Refine. It's not the best Refine, so giving this to Ike is a pretty good option. He obviously loses this encounter, but still, that's a pretty interesting option. You can give it to him. And this is just great in general for any kind of sword unit that doesn't have a PRF at all, like your seasonal favorites. One that comes to mind is freaking Bertram, who got shafted because he didn't come with a PRF. So you give this to Bertram, and he's going to become suddenly a unit with a PRF. So you can give units that don't have PRFs basically, and that's pretty amazing in my opinion. So this is a really cool change, and there is some restrictions to it. So I think they explained it in like the update. Oh, you can also refine them, I forgot to mention, which is also extra amazing. So that is pretty awesome. You can't refine regular PRFs with stats like that usually normally, so that's pretty awesome. But the restrictions to it, we'll go to my boy Phoenix Master's tweet. He talks about it. So here, arcane weapons can't run with units with exclusive PRF skills. So that is a huge bummer, because when I first saw this, I thought, oh man, this is going to be amazing on Black Knight or Zelgius, because this weapon, I mean, this Arcane Sword is basically a better version of Coral Saber, which we got recently, and that's a really good inheritable sword. But now, this is pretty much a way better version than Coral Saber. But you can't give this to Black Knight, which would have been really good for him if he just wants to specialize in near saving. So because he has Black Luna and Zelgius has Warp Powder, you can't give it to him. So that kind of sucks. And you can't give it to Legendary Seliph, so rip the dreams of that. You can't give it to... you can't even give it to Arden. I mean, I guess Arden Sword is really, really good, but you can't give it to anyone that has a exclusive skill. So that kind of sucks. I kind of wish that wasn't a thing, but I don't know. I guess they wanted to make it a little balanced, because you can give it to anybody. So that's one restriction. So kind of a bummer, but it's still pretty cool. So you can still give it to Alphonse. Like I said, you can still give it to like units with PRFs that people don't like regular Paula, for example. Bertram's another big example for it. So definitely a lot of options. My brother, I know for sure, is going to give it to his long queue if he does get this LIF. So that's pretty cool. So the rearmed hero, I like this addition. I like this new mechanic. I think it's not game breaking or anything, because the sword itself is not like super duper groundbreaking, I'd say, compared to like some of the top swords in the game, obviously. But still, the fact that it's inheritable is amazing, and it definitely buffs a lot of units and gives them new options. So I like that. And they're giving us celebration quests and rewards for it. So some grails, some flowers, and also they're giving us freaking 1,000 divine dew, which is amazing, because they never usually give this amount of divine dew for free. I've always said for refine updates, I wish they gave us at least 200 divine dew so everybody can try out or refine. That'd be pretty nice. But they never do that. But now they're giving us 1,000 for free, which is amazing. That's like 5 refines, 4 refines for free. So that's awesome. And yeah, so I went over the three hopes, or should I say three hopes banner, and the last few things is the update information, some more stuff. They're actually making holoforms revivals now, so they're going back to some of the old holoforms that people missed out on. So I guess TMS is the first one, and this wasn't even the first holoform, so I don't think they're going back to the very first one, but still, you know, TMS units, they haven't aged that well. They're definitely in need of refine, so this is pretty cool for people fans of TMS, and if they ever get a banner again. And then they're updating Binding Worlds, where you can see the units you used before, I think. So that's a small change. Yeah, Hero Records, which you used before in previous runs. And then the last change is Favor Duels, or for Summoner Duels, you can now get more Favor for a bonus period. So that's pretty nice, because Summoner Duels is such a grueling mode already, and it's such a crazy mode, and it takes forever to grind. So I'm glad that they're actually increasing the Favor bonus, and you can go up and get more stats, or more Favor level, should I say. And then there's some more custom rule updates, stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically the Fate channel. You know, the Three Hopes banner, I think is pretty cool. I'm glad it wasn't Arcanea, because I was thinking it might have been Arcanea banner, because they released an Arcanea banner around this time of the year last year. So I was predicting it either to be Fates, Three Houses, or Radiant Dawn, and it ended up being Three Hopes. And I honestly think that it's the perfect time. I think I mentioned that earlier. I think it's the perfect time to release a Three Hopes banner. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Fate channel and the Three Hopes banner. Let me know what you guys think down below. You know, Three Hopes, make a new ground. I mean, we're making a lot of new stuff here. Warriors finally getting to the game, Warriors characters, and we're finally getting a unit that can inherit a PRF, which I guess it's not really a PRF then. So, you know, LIF as a unit as himself here, this Arcane LIF, kind of rest in peace to him, because he doesn't have, this weapon's not exclusive to him, because everyone else can have it. So, or almost everyone else can have it. That's a sword unit. So, you know, kind of rest in peace to him, because he doesn't have anything unique except obviously his special. At least he still has Deadly Balance and his special, of course. But because this sword is inheritable, it doesn't make him as good of a unit in my opinion. So we're kind of rest in peace to him, but he's still a good unit, of course. He's not going to be terrible, of course, but the fact that it's inheritable is pretty crazy. And I did mention Black Knight and Zelgius not being able to get it, which is unfortunate, because it looks like they're not going to be able to get it. But units like Manuela will be able to get this, and Drog. If I ever get a lift, maybe I'll give it to the Drog, because this is just better than his Refine overall. And Winter Manuela, who doesn't even have a PRF, can definitely benefit from this Arcane Sword. So that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy that we're getting this new update. So I like it, and we'll have to see how it pans out. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the banner, and let me know what you guys think down below if you comment, and leave a like if you enjoyed listening to me ramble as always. And if you listen to me ramble all the way to the end here, props to you. I appreciate you watching, and leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Please stay safe out there, and peace out.